Okay, we are now joined by our 2022 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series champion driver, and that is Zane Smith. Zane, congratulations on the run. We'll get right to questions. I know there'll be several. Start up here to Jerry, then go to Matt, and then Jonathan. Sorry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net. Zane, were you just not going to be denied? I mean, another runner-up finish probably been apoplectic after that. So were you just not going to be denied there at the end?
Yeah, I knew our night had gone too smooth at times, and we struggled bad on pit road. And I went from dominating the race, being the first seed, to with restarting 11th with 11 to go as the fourth seed. And I wasn't going to – if Bob Jenkins was going to get a wreck truck or a championship trophy at the end of the day. So I was not going to lose another one. I just it's scarred me too bad, and probably the craziest finish I've ever been a part of, and obviously the biggest win I've ever had. But just so proud of everyone.
Go up here to Matt.
Matt Weaver, Racing America. First of all, the four-wide move you found yourself in, four-wide bottom, was there ever a doubt that was going to work out in your favor?
I have no idea when that was. Was that with like 5 to go, or how many was that to go?
That was the
10 to go. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot happened that I don't even know. I know. I think I was underneath Chandler at that time, and we were adoring each other, and we were nose to nose, and both of us obviously weren't going to lift. And I have said it in a few other interviews, but I just want to give a shout out to the other three. We had every opportunity to wreck each other, and we battled hard, hit each other, but didn't wreck each other. And we were fighting for a championship. So a lot of respect goes out to them. And I don't know if it was an exciting finish, but I about had a heart attack at the line.
To that point, with Ben behind you, like he drove you pretty hard, but he didn't wreck you. How nervous were you going into that final corner, knowing that Ben was going to take some kind of shot?
Yeah, pretty nervous. I guess I talked to my spotter. He said that he was on my bumper from the time I turned off the wall, but I really didn't feel him until about center of the corner, and I started getting really loose, and I was so worried he was gonna. It was a Xfinity finish from last year, do-over, and I got really loose and then really tight, and then I heard the screaming of my spotter, which I knew we had it, and I'm just now getting my voice back.
We'll go upstairs for a question.
Chris KnightCatchfence.com. Zane, I was just wondering if you had a chance to speak to Bob Jenkins yet, and if you did, what that conversation was like.
I have not. Unfortunately, Bob isn't here tonight, but I can assure you I probably have a phone call from him. I haven't been able to check my phone. It's been the busiest victory lane celebration I've ever been a part of. So it's been so cool to celebrate it with family, friends, just on the West Coast in general. And, yeah, I mean, I just truly can't believe the night we've had.
Good, Jonathan.
Jonathan Field, the racing experts, a year ago, you had the runner-up finish in the championship. Your future is kind of up in the air. How is it now sitting there, the champion, bright future ahead?
Yeah, definitely a lot has changed. I have literally stood in this parking lot 3 years in a row, not knowing what I'm going to be doing next year. And I knew going into this, as I've been through way worse times, and regardless of the outcome tonight, I'm going to have a job next year. And that's such a weight off your shoulders. And so with him giving me that confidence, I want to reward him with a championship. And I felt like that's why I don't want to say I raced so much harder, but I just couldn't lose another one. It just wasn't an option. And so, just crazy where I'm at mentally and how great things are going in my life right now. And so I'm just trying to ride it as long as I can.
What is Zach?
Zach Sterniola with NASCAR.com. Zane, congratulations. You talked about that mentality. Is there one moment you can kind of pinpoint as a turning point for you? Obviously, I know there was the heartbreak of finishing second the last couple of years, but getting behind the wheel of this 38 truck, is there one thing that you noticed click differently for you this year? Is there a moment that stands out?
I mean, probably just overall like team morale. We Like I had a great relationship with my past team at GMS, but I don't want to call them old, but it was an older group, and the group that I have now is just younger, and I feel like we weren't always hanging out at the shop. We were also hanging out outside of work, and so I just think that goes a really long way. And me and Chris Lawson have a really good relationship, and he's a past racer of himself, and we click right away. And then my engineer Dylan Capello, we grew up racing together since I was about 12 years old, and he's from out here, and we spend every Monday together in sim, and it's just that same deal as he's a past racer himself and still races some when he can, but I just feel like the communication is there a lot quicker than most.
Go here to Bob, then Tom, then Lewis.
Bob Hockris, Fox Sports. Does a driver who wants to be in the Cup Series and wants to win races in the Cup Series have to win races like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I've literally watched it. I went from my very first year in trucks to winning a couple races in my rookie season, and getting possibly an opportunity at a Cup car, and I thought that was crazy. And then last year, I felt like we were really fast, but struggled bad on execution. I felt like everything happened to us that year, and we still were able to advance into the Final Four with winning at Martinsville. But I feel like this year, winning at Daytona and then a few more wins right after that, and then how the format is now, it's like if you get into the Final Four, we all have the same mentality of, man, this is a championship of our own, and whoever's the best of us four is the champion. And so it's just really hard to get here in the first place, and then to execute on this day is to a whole other level, and I don't think we could have executed any better.
Go to Tom.
Tom Bowles, Front Stretch and CBS Sports. Zane, two quick ones for you. On the Fox broadcast, they mentioned, you sent out 120 voicemails at the end of last year, and Front Row was the only one that called you back. That kind of caught me off guard. Is that true? And if so, how did that really motivate you to deliver for them this year?
Yeah, that's actually, I guess a lot of that story is true, but there's more details. It's a long story. I had obviously lost the championship with 8 laps to go last year, and Front Row was not one of the places that I called. I didn't even think it was an opportunity, and I had a ride pretty much set up, and I was excited about it, but it was literally about 30 minutes later, after these 120 phone calls probably in the past couple of days, I had gotten a call from Front Row Motorsports that they wanted me to run their truck, and that really caught my eye because I knew the people that were on the truck, and the people are what makes these things go fast. And I just recognized their work ethic and how bad they wanted it, and I wanted it really bad also, especially for my past couple of years of losing this. And long story short, we're in Phoenix celebrating a championship.
And along those lines, we had the other championship 4 guys in here, and Chandler Smith came out and said, you know what, 38, they were pretty much the most deserving team all year. All 3 pretty much agreed that you guys end-to-end were really one of the strongest teams. Can you just talk about the camaraderie in the series and the respect, the other drivers are showing towards you?
Yeah, big time. I mean, I touched on it some of how hard we raced, all 4 of us, for not only a win, but a championship together, and we didn't wreck each other. But yeah, I mean, I have a ton of respect for them. probably, I knew going into this tonight, you're probably going to have to win the race to win the championship, just with how strong the 18 was on short tracks especially. And then the 66 with how much momentum he's had. And then the 99 seems to always be there as well. So it was a tough Final Four, but ultimately we had the best group and came out on top.
We'll go to Lewis and then wrap it up with Jerry.
Luis Torres, the podium finish. You talked about how you wanted to bring the organization to championship, but also for Ford, how special it is to do it under those circumstances to get that title for them in the Truck Series.
Yeah, pretty special. Obviously, Ford doesn't have many trucks out there, and it's I knew going into tonight that it was me versus Toyota, and so I don't know, it made me want to get them a championship that much more, and so there was times throughout the race of it was difficult when I was boxed in by KBM pretty much for the first half, and then was able to get in clean air and kind of control that, and
And being a young man from the West Coast, how gratifying is it just to bring one out for them, considering California has had various drivers that has been able to accomplish many great things on a national level?
Yeah, I mean, when I found out that Phoenix was going to be the new Homestead, I was pretty excited about that, just because I like Phoenix since the get-go, and I really like Homestead too, but I don't know, this is as close to home as I get, and so it's so cool having family, friends, old sponsors that are family, just all of them here. And since I was a little kid, this is what our goal was, man, maybe one day, if everything's right, we'll be able to go chase wins in the Truck Series, or I don't even know if that was realistic then, in any top 3 series of NASCAR, and many times it seemed so this ain't happening, and we just never gave up, and they probably believed in me more than I believed in myself a lot of times, but I'm just really happy I proved them right.
We'll close it out with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. The last time we had a Truck Series champion celebration in here, it was much less subdued. You mentioned you're going to have a celebration. What is that going to look like?
Yeah, it takes more than like 2 Bud Lights to get me drunk.
All right. Well, Zane, congratulations.
Thank you.
We've got one more up here to Matt.
Just to follow up, you mentioned all the people that's helped get you to this point, and it's kind of a small part of your career, but Gary Crooks, and I'm curious, moving over to North Carolina and Mooresville and racing with Gary, what role did he play in just getting you acclimated to stock car racing at this level?
So much. I occasionally text Tony and a couple guys that were on that group, and I still look back to those days like, oh my God, those were the most fun days of my life, when we would go down to Speed Weeks and get a house together and just go racing. It was so much fun, and Gary, it taught me so much. I do have some super late model races that I want to go do some next year. I don't know for who yet, possibly Gary. I don't know what he has available, but I mean, I miss that whole atmosphere a lot. And I was talking to actually Chandler some during media day, and he was telling me how just different the super late model world is, of how hard you could run now. So I'm really interested in it, and trying to put some stuff together for next year.
All right, Zane. Well, congratulations on the championship, and enjoy the off season.
Thank you.